Hey friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Kaylee and this is Foodie Friday. As always, before we get into this week's recipe, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload. All right, friends, so this week I'm really excited about the recipe I'm going to be sharing with you. It's something that I have been honestly eating for 2 weeks straight now because I love it so much. So I am a huge fan of hamburgers. I love hamburgers, pizza, all of those types of foods. And so I wanted to make a recipe that is a healthier version. So this week's recipe is a perfect recipe to have on hand if you just need to change things up. It's a quick dinner recipe, also perfect for meal prep. So I'm going to be sharing how to make a hamburger salad. Honestly, I've been eating this on repeat for weeks now. It is so delicious. It's a meal that I look forward to eating every evening for dinner. It's packed full of protein. It's got lots of fun add-ins. It's a great salad that you can add your favorite foods to, but it's also something that you can make and meal prep and eat it throughout the week and not get tired of it. I'm sure most of you are thinking I can make a hamburger salad. It's really not that difficult, but this one has a special sauce that I created. It is so delicious. As always, this recipe was created with healthier ingredients that you can feel good about eating. It is gluten-free, Whole30 approved, as well as dairy-free and ultra delicious. So without further ado, let's get to cooking. Okay friends, so for this recipe, we're just going to be using a few very simple ingredients. You can add to this whatever you like, whatever you usually put on your hamburger, but we're going to use romaine lettuce as our base. I'm using a bag of romaine hearts that I like to wash and chop up. I'm going to be using lean ground chicken, but you can also use a pound of lean ground beef. Either one works. I'm using chicken just because I'm trying to keep my fats low in my diet right now. It's a part of my macros that I've planned out for this new training. And then we're also going to be using my favorite dill pickles. You can also use bread and butter if you're choosing to do something sweeter, but I prefer dill pickles. We're going to be using 1 cup of cherry tomatoes. We're going to chop these up. And then we also have 1/2 purple onion. You're more than welcome to use a white sweet onion, but I prefer purple onion on my burgers, so that's what we're using here. For this recipe, we're also going to be using 2 medium to large sweet potatoes. We're going to take these, wash them, and chop them up. I like the skin on my sweet potatoes just because there's lots of great nutrients and fiber that comes from the skin. So I leave the skin on and roast my sweet potatoes. But if you prefer the skin off, go ahead and peel those up before chopping and then chop up into small cubes. We're going to roast these in our air fryer. If you don't have an air fryer, you can always use your oven. But either way, just rough chop your sweet potatoes. And we will season them up before placing them into our air fryer. I love using my air fryer because these do get really nice and crispy, especially if you cube up your sweet potatoes small. So I like to cube mine about 1/2 inch to maybe 1 inch at the largest before cooking, but you can still get a really nice crisp on your sweet potatoes roasting them in your oven. I'll tell you how to do it both ways later on in this video, and as always, you can get the full recipe from my blog. The link to that is in the description box below. And if you're ever in need of other quick recipes, I have lots on my blog as well as on my Instagram and my TikTok, so be sure to check all of those out. Now that our sweet potatoes are all chopped up, it's time to add them to a large Ziploc bag so we can add some olive oil and season them up. So I usually just do about 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You can also use safflower oil. That's another really great, healthy, neutral oil to use. I know some people don't like the flavor that olive oil gives off, so safflower oil is a great alternative for healthy oils. But we're just going to add our sweet potatoes to a large Ziploc bag, add in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil or safflower oil, and then we will add 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. You're always welcome to add more or less of either of these ingredients. I like to keep my spices neutral on my sweet potatoes just because we're going to have so many other great flavors playing on top of this salad that we don't want to over season our sweet potatoes. Once you have your oil and seasonings in your bag, you're just going to give this thing a shake like it owes you money, and then you will add them to a lined baking tray or your air fryer tray. If you're air frying these, you're going to air fry for 15 minutes at 425 degrees. If you're baking in your oven, you're going to do 425 degrees for 30 minutes. While our sweet potatoes are roasting, we're going to chop up our vegetables. So I'm taking my purple onion and I'm just slicing this up. Like I said, this is very versatile. You can top this salad with whatever you like. If you don't prefer purple onion, you can always use a different onion. If you don't like onion at all, you can leave this out completely. But I love purple onion. There's just something about it on a burger that is so delicious. So we're going to slice this up and then we're going to quarter our cherry tomatoes. You're welcome to just have these, but I like mine to be small and bite-sized. So I'm going to quarter these up and set them aside. And once we have all of our vegetables all chopped up and ready to go, we'll just place them in bowls, set them in our fridge until we are finished cooking the rest of our ingredients. The last thing to prep before we make our hamburger meat is our romaine lettuce. So I really like to, if I'm meal prepping this, chop all of my romaine lettuce up and put it into a large bowl. Always wash your lettuce before chopping it up. I'd like to emphasize that. So I've washed my lettuce, I let it air dry for a little bit, and now I'm just chopping this up how I prefer it. I really like a smaller piece of lettuce, so I always chop all of my lettuce up and place in a large bowl, and then I put a paper towel in there to soak up any kind of moisture, keep my romaine lettuce from wilting or getting kind of slimy, and I will have my lettuce already chopped and ready to go for the week. So like I said, I've been meal prepping this salad for about 2 weeks now. It's my favorite, so I always just prepare ahead and get all of my vegetables chopped up, put in bowls, placed with lids on top, and I just pull everything out of my fridge and make my salad when I'm ready to eat it. So once we have all of our lettuce chopped up, we will go ahead and make our hamburger meat. So this is the final step to our salad. We're going to make our hamburger meat. Like I said, you can either use lean ground beef or ground chicken. I'm using lean ground chicken, and I'm just gonna be seasoning it with Montreal steak seasoning. It's just a classic hamburger seasoning that I grew up using, but you can pretty much season your hamburgers however you like. But this one is great because it's got salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. It's real simple, real basic, and it gives it that really good hamburger flavor. So even if you're using chicken or turkey, use this seasoning, and it really does give a hamburger flavor to your meat. So we're going to, over medium-high heat, cook our ground chicken up or ground beef. I do want to note that I did add just a touch of olive oil to my pan to keep my chicken from sticking. If you feel like your meat might be a little bit dry because there's not a whole lot of fat in it, a lot of times chicken or turkey has this happen, you can always add just a tablespoon of olive oil or safflower oil to give it a little more tenderness. The final thing that we're going to do is make our special sauce. So we're just going to be using a few simple ingredients, 1/2 cup of Primal Kitchen mayonnaise. This stuff is my all-time favorite. So we're just gonna add this to a mason jar. If you don't have a mason jar, you can always whisk this together in a bowl. But I like to just mix it up in the mason jar, then I'm gonna store this in my refrigerator with. So then we also have 2 tablespoons of Whole30 compliant ketchup. If you're not doing Whole30, you don't have to worry about this, but I like to find all natural ketchup that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup. And then we're also gonna add 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos, and then we do have a few spices, but we're also gonna add the secret ingredient, which is a tablespoon of dill pickle juice. You can even add a little bit of dill pickle relish in there if you like, but I just like to add a little bit of dill pickle juice. This really gives it a special signature flavor. And then we're gonna add our spices, which is 2 teaspoons of dried minced onion, a pinch of red pepper, and a pinch of sea salt. And once you have all these together in your jar, go ahead and whisk together until ready to use. Now that we have all of our salad components ready to go, I'm going to assemble our salad. So like I said, I prep everything to eat every single day. So like this would be what I prepped for the week for myself. So I am just going to take everything out of the fridge and assemble my salad right before I eat it. I'm not a fan of making salads ahead of time. I feel like it makes the lettuce wilty, and that's just not fun for anyone. So I'm taking all of my different components that we've prepared and just adding them on top. If you're counting macros, you just add what fits into your macros. But right now I'm just enjoying myself, so I'm adding as much pickles and as much sweet potato chunks as I like. And then I am gonna top it with that special special sauce, which will be my dressing. This is such a fun salad to make for the whole family because then you can add whatever you like and it's enjoyable for everyone involved. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this week's recipe. Please let me know if you try it out and let me know if you end up meal prepping it. It's seriously one of my favorite creations thus far. As always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like as well as subscribe to my channel so you never miss an upload. If you're new to the Measure Me Whole community, be sure to leave a comment below so I can say hi. I look forward to getting together next week where we cook another nutritious and delicious dish. All right, you guys, see you next week.